Hello everybody, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button. I junk journal and I slow stitch. And I have a cold, but apparently by the tests I don't have COVID. But my husband still has COVID. So I thought I would just do a really quick video. And one that I think I've mentioned because I have this little box of wonders. I don't know if you're new to the channel. I make my own ephemera. I don't buy single-use craft items. I will buy stamps and ink and paint and things like that are used over and over again, but I don't buy single-use craft items. And I make ephemera from magazine pages, book pages, packaging paper. If it's going, I will make something out of it, yeah? So I like sometimes to use words, not often, but sometimes I do. So I'm going to give you an example. And I got these words from this box. So I've got cheerfully, most remarkable. Doesn't really mean anything, it's just positive sentiments. And sometimes that's nice in a journal to do that. You can put things in that are really meaningful. You can make found poetry. To start with that, you need sort of word fodder, and that's what we're going to make today. We're going to start making some of it. So we're going to look for words that are positive words or words that will be useful. They don't have to necessarily make sense. It can be one word or it can be a string of a few words. And we've got my last large print adult book that I rescued from a skip during the pandemic. I thought it was ironic. And we're going to start on this because I hadn't started on it. It's one that's been cancelled from a hospital library. It was going in a skip. The nursing home that I worked for, all the residents in the nursing home had read this. The ones that did read millions of times were interested, and the others have dementia, and people with dementia to the level that you need to be in a nursing home can't really read. So picture books is where it's at. And we had hundreds of these types of books. Not all large print, some of them were small print, and they got chucked in the skip. And it was a real catalyst for me for understanding about how ephemeral, it means temporary, books are really. So this is one I rescued from the skip. It already had this ripped off. I might try and steam that off because that looks quite nice. Might be used again. And what we're going to do is we're just going to skim the pages. We're not going to do very many pages because I want you to just understand what I'm doing so that you can go if you wish, because I enjoy this process. I enjoy the process of making my own ephemera and then using my own ephemera. And I think it gives my journals a look that it's completely mine, because everything's been processed by me. It's not been bought at a shop basically or online. So we're just going to start and we're just going to do a few pages. We might even get 1 or 2 pages in for you to understand how I go about this to build my stash, and then this will go on my shelves. I've made myself a little craft store in my house. I've got shelves in the craft room that are full of ephemera, so it's books that I've processed and cut the pretty pages out. This is my word book. I might have made envelopes out of book pages and various other bits and pieces, and they're all on that shelf so that I can grab about what I need. I might one of the jobs I need to do is I have napkins with butterflies on, and I PVA glue the napkins onto book page and I cut it around, and it's already like a double layered element, and it just goes in a box, goes on that shelf. I can choose from it when I want to. So this is a project, like many other projects when I say about building your stash, that you sort of do in between journals. Now, I have 2 journals on the go that are kind of coming to their natural end. I might fiddle around with them a little bit more, but I'm looking to start kind of true autumny, Halloweeny type, running into November sort of journals. And I've got 3 journals that I'm thinking about might be 2, I don't know. I've got one that I've definitely is one that I used last year and I want to add more to it, so that's like an easy one. And then there's another couple that I might want to make. All that to say, I'm in an in-between point, so it's an excellent time to make some ephemera. So we're going to look at just this little bit, and we already have a delightful first. So we could say this delightful first. We can just cut out the 3 words. When you come to use it, you might not use this, you might not use first, you might just use the word delightful. But give yourself a little chance. You know, you could put novel. I mean, I don't think I would use the word novel, but I know that I would use the word delightful. And this and first are useful letters, useful words. There we go. I'm going to leave a little tag on the end, and that's our first little phrase. Okay, what have we got here? We've got Regency romance, so I do have plans for a Jane Austen themed journal. I've got a hardback cover of Sense and Sensibility somewhere that I want to turn into a Jane Austen novel, which is a Regency romance. There we go. We've got the word irresistible. We could keep the. We don't particularly need Georgina, but we can keep the. Oh, writer of the irresistible. I might keep that. Let's have a look. I've got the word the family, which is the name of a cult, isn't it? We'll just use family. Yeah. One of my other little rabbit holes is cults. I do like listening and thinking about cults. There we go. Family. Got wild and rakish. I don't think I want wild and rakish, but I do want wild. And I think you're kind of seeing how you can build a little stash of your own words to make your own, just, you know, like you could, that would go nice on a, if you had like a field of wildflowers or something, just put wild. Doesn't have to mean, you know, a negative thing. All depends on context. So, do we want speculation? We don't want early death. I've got anything here. I've got kind. That's a nice word. Right. Scissors have moved up my fingers. You'll have to excuse me for yawning. I have slept lots. I slept solidly overnight once I managed to prop myself up. I've got like some sort of ear, nose and throat thing. So it might be a coincidence. It might just be COVID that's not showing up on the tests we bought. I did 2 tests. So I don't think it is COVID, which I'm glad about because I've never had it. Yeah. So there we go. So they can be used as scraps. Now, I wouldn't necessarily throw this away because I could make a tag out of this and I could make a tag out of that. That's really useful, like plain paper that can be used. So we're just going to put it to one side. So we have another word. Thinking about my Regency thing, we've got the word Darcy. So we will have that. Mr. Darcy. Not that he's in Sense and Sensibility, but you know what I mean. Perhaps it's a universe where they all live. I don't think Jane Austen thought in terms of universes, did she? Okay. So we've got Great Britain. I'm going to take that because that is my country. And I think you're probably going to, you know, look at this and scan that. Somebody probably would have done United States. That's not very relevant to me, so I've chosen Great Britain instead. But, you know, it's completely your choices. So you're sort of making it, you're curating it. That's it. That's a bit of an overused word, but that is what you're doing. You're sort of curating your own little stash of words that can be useful. And even if you have a printer, or you can write nice calligraphy, it's nice to have different sources of words and stuff. You can always hear the rugby people practicing in the background. In this story, I'm trying to cut it so that you can see what I'm cutting. You have to think very differently doing things for the camera. Okay, printed in England. I'm not really from Leicestershire, so I don't need to put Leicestershire in. But if I had Lancashire, not that there's any printing houses really in Lancashire, which is where I'm from, which is like the northwest of England. Well, it's technically Greater Manchester now, but when I was born it was Lancashire. You know, I would cut that out. But Leicestershire's somewhere that I go through. If there's anybody from Leicestershire watching, no offence, but I'm sure that, like, you know, not that anybody goes through Suffolk, because there isn't really much other than seaside and stuff. And people go past my hometown on the train all the time. Now this, I think I'm just going to cut the lines up and just, I don't know, it looks, it's not a sonnet, I think it's trying to be a sonnet, but I think I will like it more if I cut the words up. And can you see, we're like literally 3 pages in and I've already got a little pile of bits and pieces. And if you choose a book that's like, you know, like you could do children's books. I've got a Flower Fairies book that I'm going to use in one of the journals next month and in November, and I've got the leftover bits of that book that's got words, and I've just kept it. I've just put it in like a pouch with the fussy cut fairies that I've done, because if I find something that's useful within that, because it has words like flower and, you know, nice kind of relevant words, then I will, you know, use that in my journal. It's like Edith Holden as well, that's quite good. She has lots of like motes for the, you know, like the beginning of the month and stuff. Very handy. See, a time of enchantment, that can mean anything. So yeah, we are just gonna go for this. Having a book of sonnets is nice. I remember one wedding anniversary, I took a sonnet and made oh, we'll do that as a video. I'll show you what I did. I won't show you everything I wrote in it, but I made, you know, I've done on Slow Stitch Sunday, I've done like the Slow Stitch scrolls. I made a paper one instead of a card. You don't have, you know, like, I've never really been a card maker, but I have been a paper thing maker that I've given to people, or a slow stitch thing maker that I've given to people. So yeah, we're just gonna cut these down. Roses blooming in December. That's quite nice. I don't know of any. Well, actually, you can have roses blooming in December if there's no frost and stuff. They'll just keep blooming, won't they? You keep deadheading them. And sunshine through the rain. All the nice words here. Just got to be careful not to snip. See, that would be nice. Sunshine through the rain with a rainbow in the background. Take the verily out. So it's not a very exciting one, but I figured this was what off my list of things to do, because I have like this ideas list. I thought, this is one that I can do. I can just sit and do it. I'm not going to stress about it, and I'm not going to do it for very long. We might do one more page after this. Even got Bewitched, which would be good for like a Halloween. Put that there. Oh, how eager is woman to be bewitched. Well, we might just cut that up, because women can be eager for other things, you know. Okay, so we've got this word. We might not have very many in this. Ooh, on this brightest of March mornings. Now, you've got two sides now. So what you need to do is look at each side and decide which are the best bits and see if it's going to compromise something else that might be better on the other side. So I like Signs of a Young Lady in Love. I'm going to look, and I don't mind chopping up Chintz Morning Dress of Palest, whatever colour that is. So let's cut that word out first. Do you already do this? You know, have you, is this something you've done? I mean, I've done this in magazines as well. When I've been processing my magazines for images, if I see some words that I think are going to be useful, I'll just take them out and they'll just get put in either that box, or they'll get put in with the stuff that I'm, you know, cutting the magazine up for. Okay. A hush of expectancy lay over Lady Mercer's house in Great Pulteney Street on this brightest of March mornings in Bath. Let's see. We've got Georgiana was a pretty creature. We'll just have pretty creature. Is that going to be... Oh, see now, this is where there's a clash. On this brightest of March mornings. We'd have to split that up. A pretty creature. While we're coming into autumn, I'm going to go with a pretty creature. But if we were in spring, I would probably go for... Not that these things would probably not get used, but that was the decision I made. And it's only paper. It's not, you know... It's not worth getting worked up about. So let's have a look. Oh, a pompous little toad. Don't want that. I like the word gentleman. That might be useful. Exceedingly, that's a good one. Anybody who's British will know Mr. Kipling and his exceedingly good cakes. Not particularly want crest. some 5 seconds later. That's quite good with a clock. You just add like a little bit of interest onto a page. It doesn't have to actually mean anything, or it can mean anything. It can mean whatever the person who's reading it thinks it means. There's a sort of literary criticism, which is like a reader reaction. So it's like that. It's kind of your own reader reaction. On this afternoon, I'm not really taking much notice of the other side, but that's okay. We're getting a nice little pile. Small woods. Ooh. Linger within sight. I quite like that as a phrase. So yeah, is this something that you do? Is it something you thought about doing? It's one of those, if you've not really got a much mojo, without a word. Say 1,000 things without words. Okay, let's review our little finds from, was that 3 pages? 3 or 4 pages? I think it might have been 3 pages. You tell me. So we will close the book. There we go. This delightful first. Oh, Darcy family. Them to linger in sight. On this enchanted afternoon was some 5 seconds later. Signs of a young lady in love. A pretty creature, we'll say gentlemen. Oh no. Pretty creature, in it all days are fair and all fields. We'll get into that poem now. But I think you can see how you can you can make up little phrases using the little phrases. You could cut stuff up. Roses blooming in December. Youth is blessed by it. In this story is the time of true love. There we go. Oh, how eager is woman without a word. Printed in England, November. A time of enchantment. Exceedingly. Writer of the Irresistible. Great Britain. Love is. Regency Romances. There we go. Wild and Kind. So there you go. You could cut, like and the and, other sort of letters, or you could handwrite them in. So you sort of mix it all up and you can still make it say what you want it to say. But that's my I feel a bit rough video. I'm sorry I didn't make one yesterday. I actually went to bed early and I just slept. And like I said, I slept and then I got up and we had to do jobs like adults, because when you're an adult you're not allowed just to be ill, are you? So I had a Tesco delivery and it's nice and dry, so 2 loads of washing, and there's people noise in the background. Just stuffs. So I had another nap and then I thought I would like to make a video. So I made a video. So there we are. Build your stash with words found in a book. Found words. Yeah. Don't forget, if you want to win, I'm not going to get it out. I don't think it would be contagious because I'm not going to be ill when I'm sending it out. And I think it's 72 hours before things are not contagious anymore. But I'm not going to get it out. Chance to win an advent calendar. That's full of the things that we make on the channel in the Vintage Button. And I'm also selling them on Etsy when I get my act together, which was supposed to be this weekend. But there we go. I've got some time booked off next week. So yeah, if you want to win, getting the chance to win that, you need to be subscribed. You need to like and comment on this video, and then every video you like and comment on in the future will be classed as an entry. I think next time I'm going to be a little bit more specific about what I want from people, just because I can't gauge who's liked and who's commented, and I don't mind because I want to give something away, so I actually really don't mind. But I'm just thinking in the future, perhaps I need to be a bit more specific in my rules. But as it's my first time, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's okay, because I'm only here to have fun. So I hope you have a really good rest of your Saturday, wherever you are in the world. Let me know how you are. We're alright, we're alive, we have food, we have clean washing that's drying. I think that's a win. And I will, if I feel like it, I will be doing a slow stitch. I'd planned a really simple one, so I think I probably will. I'll be able to find an hour at some point tomorrow that I feel like posting a video. And as my mechanism is very simple, I think that'll be okay. So there we go. I hope you have a really pleasant Saturday, and I will talk to you soon. Talk to you in the comments. Alright then, bye bye.